Natural Born Killers is a milestone in postmodern cinema. The opening scene alone establishes the tone of the film and how it uses postmodern attributes to tell the story and make it more effective and unnatural. Predominantly, all of the shots are at a Dutchy angle, which shows the larger-than-life setting and mind state of the characters. The color grading, shifting from black and white briefly to red and then to color, reflects the unpredictability of the characters. These are postmodern attributes the director, Oliver Stone, has consciously used to remind the audience they are watching a creation, although their actions reflect real serial killers. These techniques have been used to create a physical representation of their altered states. There are moments where the characters have inside thoughts. These are shown with unnatural and excessive performances and jarring editing. Oliver Stone said these are the inside thoughts of the characters. This can expand how an audience sees a small side character. It also adds to the hyper-real world and how all the characters have altered states and aren't all okay. Jean Baudrillard wrote about hyperreality. He says, more real than our actual lives. Here he is talking about society taking sitcoms and movie characters more seriously than they should be, seeing them as friends or peers rather than fictional characters. This interlinks with Oliver Stone's argument for making the film. We as a society get wound up with media and forget what's around us. When the film was released, it was banned from Ireland, and the American film distributors edited certain scenes out of the film. Throughout the scene we see Mickey and Mallory through different colours, which could represent different forms of media. Black and white show them as though they were in old movies, and when they dance at the end of the scene we see the colour and lighting change to a romantic setting. Combining the romance with the brutalism we witnessed before creates a horrific persona. The waitress is describing a key lime pie to Mickey Knox and says, "It's an acquired taste." This then repeats in black and white, and with the waitress saying it in a much more flirtatious way. This takes the audience out of the film and makes them start questioning this minor character. Mickey also has an inner thought a few minutes later when some other customers enter the diner. One of them refers to Mallory as a good piece of meat. The camera cuts to a black and white Mickey taking a sip out of his drink, and a very short sequence of Mickey covered in blood with a smile, while sinister music briefly plays. This shows the audience that Mickey has malicious thoughts and intentions for this man, foreshadowing his fate. When Mallory walks over to the jukebox, a man is sitting in one of the booths who looks over and slowly fades away. The man is credited as Mickey and Mallory's guardian angel. This could mean the reason he disappears is that he finally sees who this couple is and has given up on them. During the shocking fight sequence, Mickey and the other patrons wait quite a while before they step in. This world appears to have become accustomed to this amount of violence, which reinforces two things. The first being, the characters live in a world where violence like this is commonplace, and that everyone has a mutual understanding of when it goes too far. This coincides with the film's argument that people in real life idolize and glorify violence. During the fight, it goes from color to black and white, and eventually it settles in black and white. This shows that Mickey and Mallory's inner thoughts have become their outer thoughts, and we're now seeing it through their perspectives. We see Mallory yelling slurs at the man she's beating. It cuts to color, and she isn't saying anything, but the same actions are occurring. This could further disorientate and shows Mallory as an unreliable narrator, which is a key postmodern attribute. While Mallory is fighting, the other patron stands up to stop her, but Mickey intervenes and has a small interaction with the man. This is in black and white, so this can be interpreted as Mickey making up an interaction, so he seems cooler to himself or whoever hears a story, confirming he too is an unreliable narrator. After Mickey has killed the other patron, a chef walks out of the kitchen and into the restaurant holding a cleaver. Mickey shoots her in the head, and we see a point of view shot of the bullet while the 1940s or 50s style jazz music plays. This could represent what music Mickey is thinking about while killing her, or it could be a personification of the bullet. Either way, it's a juxtaposition from what we were expecting. The 1940s music is paralleled with the death sequence. The bullet stops briefly in front of her head, and then we see blood spatter on the wall behind her. This could be a reference to old black and white movies where they would show the aftermath of a wound, not the actual wound. Julia Kristeva first coined the term intertextuality. It was described as the phenomenon of a continual exchange and relationship between building texts. Roland Barthes used her work to base his essay Theory of the Text, which is about how internal or external knowledge can be seen as something different and have different meanings. This to me shows that intertextuality is about using a different source to prove more than one point, or in the case of Natural Born Killers, makes a single action more meaningful and therefore impactful. This takes the viewer out of the picture and once again makes them think about the lady's reaction. It was a comedic in a sense, It wasn't a reaction of fear, but more of confusion and wonder. The audience feels more uncomfortable now because of this small sequence, and these all link in with postmodernism. Just after this, Mickey spots a third patron outside. He throws a large knife through the diner's window and into the fleeing man's back. The knife is also shown in a point of view shot, unlike the bullet classical opera is playing. This could be a personification of the knife like the bullet, or it could be what Mickey is thinking and how, like the opera singing, he is the centre of attention. Mickey and Mallory choose which one to leave alive, tell their tale with a game of eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Mickey extends his arm, holding a gun, and Mallory her arm with a pointed index finger. We see these as point of view of each hand. She starts on the cowboy, she goes between them and lands on the waitress, but continues it. The waitress attempts to flee, but ends up cowering in the corner. Mallory skips a turn when she is finishing off saying, "You are it," doing two on the cowboy and ending up on the waitress. My interpretation of this scene is that Mallory did this intentionally because she wanted the cowboy to be the one left alive and not the waitress. I think she picked up on the flirtatious nature of Mickey from the beginning. In my opinion, this was Oliver Stone adding a small detail to show that Mickey and Mallory are just people who can't even follow their own rules and are also insecure about themselves. They live in their own world where everything is fine. However, it's just chaos. Individuality is another postmodern characteristic. They reject the norm and go their own way. Much like the film itself, there isn't a lot like it. The characters are fragments of society, so the story feels more personal. After they make sure the cowboy will do as he is told, they hold each other. Black and white fades into color, the lighting in the room turns to a more intimate light, and the music switches from heavy rock to calm and sweet music. They dance lovingly with each other in the new setting, and fireworks appear on the wall behind them, reflecting their explosive emotions for each other. This scene alone is a milestone in postmodern cinema. It shows so many different attributes such as intertextuality, altered states, and intense juxtapositions. It has two engaging leads that carry this world on their shoulders with psychotic pride and malice.